Electric Live Music Magazine. We are back here in Orlando, Florida at Fade Nightclub to see Nicky Romero. So you're only 23 years old and MTV has already named you one of the top EDM DJs to look out for in the year of 2012. How did you start your musical career? And what is it like being so young in the EDM industry?
Well, first of all, I think it's one of the the best things you can have if you're young, you know, and if you want to start out. And, you know, I started as a drummer actually, and I played quite a few instruments, but I wasn't like really good at one thing. So I started developing myself as a, I don't know, as a drummer. And, you know, I was just practicing a lot, and sometimes, you know, I spent some time on the computer trying to make some music, but it never really happened. So one day I was like, okay, listen, I'm just going to do this, and, you know, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make a track that's going to be released, you know. So I took this like as a goal to reach, and I was working every day, and I finished my school, and I just wanted one thing, and it was like one of the top DJs of the world. So that's when it started, and that's like 3.5 years ago right now. So, yeah, and now it just took off, and I don't know, I'm all over the place, so it's really cool.
And your musical style is described as progressive house. Do you plan on expanding to other musical genres with your production style?
Yeah, you know, because if you stick to one style, it's always hard to develop yourself. So I try to like do multiple things. Try like some electro. I recently made some dubstep things. You know, it's just cool to experience and to gain some experience with the, you know, producing other tracks, so and other genres. So it's cool, and I try to do some pop music as well because, you know, pop music is so hard to make. And if you listen to the radio songs, they sound so easy and so catchy. You think like, oh, I can do that within one day. And if you try it, it's so hard to make something unique. And I think if you just try like developing your own sound and developing more genres, then you're able to do more. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They always say I'm progressive, and I have a certain bass and a certain sound, of course. But I always try to expand different genres. Yeah.
So throughout your career, your tracks have been released on multiple labels: Tiesto's Musical Freedom, Laidback Luke's Mix Mash, and One Records, just to name a few. But now you have your own label, Protocol Records. What is it like releasing tracks on your own label, and what inspired you to create this label?
Well, I think you know, the main thing with other labels is that you're always dependent from their schedule, and that's the main reason that I want to start my own label. Next to the fact that it's cool that you can bring your own brand, your own sound to a label. So we were like, okay, we need to have our own base with my own artists, with my own sound, you know what I mean? And we wanted to start like a base of artists, you know, and like I don't know, like a playground for all artists that are connected to me or related to me, and I want to support. And yeah, we just share tracks, and I try to help them and they help me. Just to name a few, I like to work with also a good friend of mine. He's definitely a guy to watch out for this year. There's Julian Jordan, there's Fida. All those guys are quite new, and they're not, you know, they're not out there yet. But I try to, you know, like to take them in my label and to help them with sounds. And I think that's a way to develop yourself and also to gain experience by other people and to share it. So it's just cool. It's like my own brand, and I'm really happy with that.
So do you have any artists on your label right now in particular that you're really excited about?
Yeah, there's this new guy called Zero, and we made this track. It's called What the Fuck, and he came up with that idea, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. And it was just like not there yet, you know, the sound was not there yet, and the track was not finished yet. So I said like, listen, let's do this together, and I'll make like, you know, like the whole arrangement and the whole track, and you take your parts out, and we try to make one track out of it. So Zero is definitely one of the guys that, you know, it's going to be on my label, and he's amazing guy. So yeah, we just try to take all those guys and work with each other and see where we end. And we're doing quite good so far, so I'm really happy with it.
And how did you meet Xerox, and what made you want to sign him to your label?
Xerox was actually a friend of a colleague of mine. It's called Best Felipe. He was one of the first guys who started with an act called Mega Boys. And it was really funny because he's one of the biggest, like, first guys in Holland who got this huge electronic band. And he had contacts with Zero, and we met through him. And he was like, hey, let's exchange some sounds. And I don't know, that's how it happened. And we streamed it, but now we have the track. So it just goes so fast. My internet's so fast. And yeah. and now we can have release in 3 days, 2 days. I don't know, this week, next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So along with managing your own label, you're also releasing a ton of tracks right now. One of your more recent ones, like you've mentioned already, What the Fuck, has been climbing up the Beatport charts and taking the clubs by storm. So what was your inspiration for this track, and how have you been incorporating it into your sets recently?
Well, the inspiration to the What the Fuck track was basically that the dubstep sound is really hot now. You know, they have Skrillex, you know, they have Kill the Noise, and all those guys make amazing music. And I was like, I want to take a little part of the dubstep out and use it in my own kind of sound. And so that's how we put together two worlds into one, kind of. That's what we tried though. And that was the inspiration for What the Fuck. And I just tried to play it out in the sets, and it worked really well. And because you have like the energetic part of the dubstep, you have still like a little bit of the house feeling of my own tracks. So it seemed to be like a nice combination. I really hope that the people like it.
So along from producing your own tracks, you've also been collaborating with some really big players in the EDM industry recently, like Betty LeGrand, David Guetta, and Avicii. How is it working with such influential and respected DJs and producers, and how have they mentored you, and what is something that you've taught them?
Well, every producer have their own sound and their own techniques. So with Fetty, he was one of the first guys who picked me up and helped me with some label stuff and with some technical stuff. And it's cool because I'm from another generation, so I kind of like brought him the new kind of sounds and the new kind of plugins, and he gave me like so much inspiration and then so much tricks and tips and everything. We just keep exchanging. You never, you never know everything. So it's always like something you will learn. And same with Avicii. He's my age. He's exactly my age. So that's cool that he developed himself in another. It's called Fruit Loops, another program, like another software. And I did Logic, and two worlds meet up, and we made a track. And there's like Nick Tim is born. So it's just so cool. Everybody has his own sound and his own kind of thing. Same with Tiesto. He has so much experience. I mean, he's been around for so long. Same for David Guetta. Those guys really know what's going on. They really know how to make a track. So you gain experience by working with all those guys, and it's only a good thing.
So you and David Guetta particularly work so well together, and you obviously have a great relationship. Is that what sparked your recent joint residency at the Hotspot Party Place, Ibiza, for the summer of 2012?
Yeah, of course. David and me work together quite close now, so we do a lot of production together. We produce for other artists, and we do our own stuff. He has his own label, Jack Black Records. Our release Metropolis on, and we did Wild Ones too, and we have another couple of tracks that's coming up. And yeah, we have like a kind of we started working together. So he's booking me on a lot of fucking famous parties and Basha Ibiza, which are amazing. It's one of the best parties you can play in Europe. So it's definitely a great experience to go there and meet all those guys and do it. So yeah. It's only like a good thing.
So if you could work with any up-and-coming artists or DJs or producers right now, who would it be?
Oh my god. Upcoming? Wow. I really think that... Wow, that's a good one. Well, obviously Nilsson, because he's one of the upcoming guys that nobody knows. We're going to do a trip together real soon. It's one of my closest friends. I think Alesso would be cool because we both have our own sound and it would be a great combination, I think. And one other guy, well, I think Kill the Noise is supposed to be great because he's got such a different sound. Yeah.
So there is a rumor that you might be collaborating with Skrillex soon. Can we look forward to you guys possibly teaming up in the near future?
Well, I can't say too much about that, but I mean, we don't have any there's nothing like straight yet about that. We don't have any dates yet. But if he's got time and if he's up for it, I would be up for it. And we never know, hopefully, because he's one of the talented producers out there. If you ask me, he's such a good guy, such a good producer. So hopefully, I can't say too much about it yet.
Well, we will definitely be looking forward to that. We'll have our fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Alongside producing your tracks, you also have a very busy tour schedule. So you played at Live last night in Miami, and you're going to be at Sunset Music Festival this weekend. What other shows are you looking forward to?
Well, definitely I'll be looking forward to, let's say, well, I really did Ultra, but I look forward to Ultra, is it right? No, EDC Las Vegas is it? Sorry, I was confused with so many parts of it. EDC Las Vegas is going to be, I think, one of my biggest appearances this year, and it's going to be the beginning of June, I guess. So it will be in a couple of weeks. I really look forward to do that one because it's going to be huge. It's going to be one of my biggest shows ever. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also always looking forward to play Marquee in Vegas. I always like to play it live. Obviously, been there yesterday. So there are a couple of places that I like to go back and forth. There are so many good places here in the States. It's crazy. Always Denver is also really good. Atlanta, always. So yeah, there are so many good places. It's just hard to say because everywhere, like almost everywhere, the energy is good. And it's really good.
So EDM fans over here in the stateside can't wait for your U.S. tour. What is it like constantly touring, and how do you connect with your fans at all the countless locations that you tour at?
Yeah, the touring is fun. I mean, it's your hobby and it's your job. But at the same time, it's really hard sometimes to maintain the energy and to keep yourself focused because if you travel every day, because basically we fly every day, so it's just hard to start like the process all over again every day, like flying, get into a car, like getting back, check out, do the show, get back quickly, and do it all over again. So it's a hard schedule. We try to eat healthy, do the sports, and I think that's. But the energy that you get from the people keeps you motivated to do this. And I think so. It's one of the best jobs you can have in the world. So I'm really happy that I'm doing this.
So Pete Tong recently reached out to you to create an essential mix for his highly successful radio show. What was that experience like?
Pete Tong is one of the biggest players on the radio, like on the radio show. So if he asks you for an essential mix, it's cool because I've been listening to essential mixes for a long time before I started DJing. Like Petty LeGrand's one, because he was one of my inspirations as well. There are other guys that I like to listen to. Also to his own shows, to the Sweet House Mafia guys, to Steve Anton shows. So when he asked me, like, can you do an essential mix? I was like, dude, of course. That's one of the biggest honors you can get to do it. So I said straight away, like, of course, we're gonna do that. I was so excited. I got so many good feedback for essential mix. So this is one of the best things you can have for your career.
And speaking of your essential mix, we've heard that you'd like to put something out on a monthly basis this year. Will this be limited to individual records, or will it expand into podcasts or perhaps some special Nicky Romero production parties?
Well, we're going to do our own radio show called Protocol Radio, and that will definitely be broadcast on podcast this year. So I'm going to start my own show really, really soon, and I'll be playing my own tracks. We're playing the tracks that support, of course, and popular tracks, all mixed up into like a nice hourly mix. Which I think we're going to do that every week. Yeah.
Well, that will be very exciting.
Yeah.
And also, I can't help but notice that you have musical symbols tattooed on your arms. Can you explain a little bit of what they mean in music and what they mean to you in particular?
Yeah, well, I recently got this one, and this sounds like a bass clap, and there are multiple ways how you can symbolize this because you can do it two ways. Because if you play piano with your left hand, you play most of the bass notes. You know what I mean? So you play with the bass note, play the bass notes on the piano, and this is the G clef, and this is also where a music note starts with. You know what I mean? If you play a piece of music, a paper of music, it's always this sign that it starts with. So you have the start of the music with your right arm, which goes into for me which goes this direction to the end of the music. The music note. So I don't know, it's got multiple meanings to me, and I think because music is my life, my lifestyle, my heart and everything. So I was like, yeah, I need to have those two things because they mean everything to me. They've been my life so far. So that's what it means.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and we can't wait to hear all of your new productions, and we're very excited for everything you have coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Nicky Romero, and we're here with Electric Live Music Magazine.